as black people in general, we can't be trying to fix everybody else's situation. We got to fix us first. You know what I mean? And then we can kind of reach out after we get ourselves together. I think that goes for any culture. Although the whites have pretty much kind of fixed their culture to where they're on top. But just in general, I think, and then they can reach out and start breaking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we need to start demanding the shit that we want to hear on the news. You know what I mean? Because if we don't demand what we want to hear, they're going to keep spoon-feeding us this bullshit that has nothing to do with our day-to-day life over here. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's why Universal Radio plays a good platform for people to hear what a lot of people aren't really talking about. Like a lot of your radio stations around your neighborhoods or your local cities, they're playing music, and then their news is only about reality TV or some type of hip-hop mogul that, that they're not really covering any type of real thing that is going to touch the core of the people that make them start using their brain, their mind, their perceptions, and it's not going to change anything. It's going to keep everybody.
So what are you saying, G, that all other media outlets are bullshit besides Universal Radio?
Man, fuck all of them. Radio stations. They ain't talking about nothing.
Y'all like that, how we just plug in the network with no problems, no fucking self-respect at all. We gonna do it. We do this. Tru Gee all day. Universal Radio. Get at us and get rolled on.
That's how it's done. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this show. All right, we're going to go ahead and now dive into the topic of what you all probably came on here to listen to. Is there a patent on the black movement? True?
We got a guest, man, that we on. One of the more vocal brothers that I've had the pleasure of meeting. This brother, man, he represents a specific movement on the West Coast that is gaining momentum. So we want to bring him on, give him a chance to his views, let people know exactly what he stands for. Those conscious shows to where we just, we're going to take it easy. We really want to find out what this brother stands for. So with no further delay, I want to introduce our first guest for the night, Mr. MindOverMatter. Are you with us, brother?
Indeed, brother. Peace.
What's up, guys?
What's going on with y'all tonight?
Oh, man, we trying to check in and see what's up with you. Here's what. How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. Blacknificent.
I heard that. All right, MindOverMatter. Here's what's going on. You want to give the people introduction of who you are a little bit for those that may have not heard you or seen you out there in your movement. Tell them, our audience, a little bit about yourself.
Indeed. Well, my name is MindOverMatter. I'm on Facebook as MindOverMatter. I'm just a brother who was in prison for a while, served 18 years in prison. I went to prison at age 19 in 1992. I got out at age 37 in 2010. I've been out here pushing this blackness because really there's nothing else on the agenda. You sit up in prison and you see the demise of the whole community before your eyes. You watch it just perish the whole time while I'm in prison. I just watch it perish. Get out here, and I was just dissatisfied with what's going on. My mind is beyond just getting out and being happy to be out and getting a 9 to 5 and living my life. It's a struggle out here that's going on, and we got to step up on it because I see prison as it's just a microcosmic portion of what goes on out here in the streets, and we losing on all ends. We're the majority in prison, which slowly will be surpassed by the Hispanics in a minute. But out here, there's really no movement. There's really nothing going on. You got the same old clans and groups and tribes, and history has shown that they're not doing anything. So I align myself with the RBGs, which is Revolutionary Bred Gangsters, and we're now involved in the movement. We're not in the struggle anymore because a movement is actually moving. We're creating motion, and we out here trying to teach the babies, trying to raise the black man's consciousness, the sisters, the community, and we are unequivocally pro-black.
Already.
True.
Already. So, I'm glad you touched on that. You know, I noticed how active you are. I mean, you guys are really, you know, out there pushing your movement, trying to get the word out there. I came in contact with you on another show on the network, Jay Allen's show. You know, we kind of network on some different things. So that's how we came into contact, and we've been kind of, you know, following each other on Facebook. So
right.
It's a good forum. Some of the things that I noticed, you know, you guys use, some of the terminology is Negro Pen, coon. Can you go ahead and break down what the definition of those terms is?
Well, you know, it's nothing. Well, in my mind, it's nothing new. Coon, the word coon has been around for ages. You know, coon. I guess you can say, I can't tell you where the word derived from, but coon was basically
your meaning of the word, because you know we can find a million different meanings. We want to know what is RBG's definition of the word coon. What do you feel a coon and a Negro Pen is? Okay,
I feel a coon is someone who tries to justify either their actions or another brother's or sister's actions in front of white people. And what I mean by justified as to where they themselves feel inferior around either some whites or a situation. It doesn't have to be whites. It could be around any race. And they'll start, like, catering and shucking and jiving and saying things to prove that, you know, oh, you know, we're equal to you. To me, that's cooning. We don't have anything to prove. We got an uphill battle. It's no time to be trying to prove anything to anyone. We have an uphill battle, and we shouldn't be worried about what others think about us. Now, as far as a Negro Pen, that's a little bit deeper right there. You know, a Negro Pen is a combination of Eurocentrism and a Negro. It's basically a Negro who believes that Eurocentrism is supreme. He believes that's a supreme way of doing things. He actually thinks like this system over here in America, or the world system, is how it should be. And we all know that we are being ruled right now under Eurocentricity. A Negro Pen that's like the epitome of the echelon of assimilation. You know, you have. Go ahead.
Oh, no, we listening. We listening. It's your forum right now. I really want to get clarification on, you know what I mean, what a Negro Pen is, because it stood out to me. You know what I mean? I've been using the word just calling everybody.
Every time y'all say that shit, I laugh, dog. That's some funny shit.
Right. I mean, if you think about, I know it sounds funny and everything, but if you really look at it, it's a serious situation. Any black man or woman that you have that believes that Eurocentricity is the way, you have to be insane, and therefore you are a Negro Pen. You are a Negro that thinks with a European mind, and if you look at the science of it, basically it's like acculturation. You know, acculturation means that, you know, a group of people living underneath someone else's way of doing things. You usually, you know, you adapt to those ways. It's like us over here. We adapt to the holidays and the different customs over here in America. The Negro Pen, he or she takes it a step further, and they go through what's called enculturation, which means they take it upon themselves to further study this other group's cultures and heritage, and they just feel like they're all the way in.
Definitely. You know so they're enslaved to a culture of the slave master, basically. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
They're
it's kind of like
that ideology.
Yeah. In layman's terms, let's say a coon believes in going to regular school. The Negro Pen believes in going to the Negro Pen college.
Okay. So now that we got a little clarification, man. Again, you know, the show is probably unique in a sense from some of the other shows. You know, we want to bring awareness first and foremost, but we also want to add a little fun to it. You know what I mean? I think it would be wrong not to. So we created a little game called Call It Like It Is, all right? Knowing the justification or the meaning of the word Negro Pen and coon, we came up with a show on the Tru Gee show that you know, we're going to throw out a couple of different names, and we want you to label them either a coon or a Negro Pen by your standards. All right?
Right.
So we're going to bring on your host, Mr. G, Alex Trebek G.
All righty, here, Mr. MindOverMatter. I'm going to go ahead and just throw out some names randomly, and I want you just to either let me know if they're a coon or a Negro Pen. You okay with that?
Indeed.
All right, so it's no holds barred, man. This is uncensored. Say what you like. All right. So once I say a name, you just simply say Coon Negro Pen. Ready?
Ready.
Oprah.
Negro Pen. Supreme.
Martin Lawrence.
Coon.
Tupac Shakur.
Neither.
Will Smith.
Coon.
Dave Chappelle.
Neither.
The real Rick Ross.
Neither.
Michael Jackson.
Coon.
Mike Tyson.
Neither.
Sa Netter.
I'm not too familiar with that brother.
Okay, he's the guy who hosts House of Consciousness.
Yeah, I've seen only a couple of them. I haven't really sat down and seen his work, his body of work.
Okay, so right now you would say neither.
I would have to say neither on that.
Okay, and how about Louis Farrakhan?
Man.
Hey, Louis
Farrakhan, that's a hard one right there. Let me explain why it's hard. Because if you think about it, that brother right there, he's like the G of that whole era. I mean, think about it. The man has met. Think about all the people who Louis Farrakhan has met. Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Clarence 13 X. That brother, he done shook hands with some deep brothers, and sisters, and he know the sciences on a whole lot of things. And I always struggle with, what's going on with the brother right there. I keeping it clean. I had to say neither, man. He got an agenda, but neither.
So you feel he has some kind of underlining causes and
there's an agenda. There's an agenda. There's definitely an agenda. But is he Negro Peen? No. Is he Coon? Definitely not.
So let me ask you this. Is his agenda, from the surface, from what we can see, is his agenda in the best interest of our movement?
I'm sure in his eyes and his followers, it is. In my eyes, not really. No, I don't, because I feel after all this time, that little organization, they haven't really. It's not really. It's not progressive. It's not black enough. It ain't black enough.
Okay.
Now, at some point, you got to get beyond.
Is that like coming from the Scientology thing that's being exposed right now, or what? That's
okay. Yes, sir. That is a part of it. I've read a few things and heard a few things and talked with a few people about the whole Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard being a racist and shaking hands with troglodytes. And I even heard one instance of a picture of L. Ron Hubbard being hung in some moss. I asked the brother about that. He claimed it wasn't, but I also asked, is there any pictures of Marcus Garvey hung up over there? And I heard a negative on that. So,
Definitely. And since you brought up Marcus Garvey, that kind of, brought me to my next question. I see that you brothers, just reading a lot of the different quotes, I see that you guys kind of put him up, as somebody that should be respected in our movement. And us trying to bring, us as a whole, as a people, take us to a different level. How do you feel about Marcus Garvey? Is he a Negro Pen or a Coon?
Man, Mark, I'd have to punch you in the face for even asking that.
Well, the reason why I asked that, right? The reason why I asked that is because 1922, Marcus Garvey went to Atlanta for a conference with the KKK Imperial Grand Dragon at the time, Edward Young.
Indeed.
According to Marcus Garvey, he said KKK is better friends to Negroes than any other group of hypocritical civil rights movements. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Basically everybody else that was out at the time. So just kind of, looking at y'all movement, you guys are pro-black. So
Indeed.
By him saying that, where does that put him at in your mind?
It puts the brother on a supreme pedestal. He understood his enemy. Today's times, we don't understand our enemy. And I agree with what Marcus Garvey tried to do, and I agree when the brother Malcolm did the same thing. People talked about Malcolm about doing the exact same thing. Luckily, Malcolm knew he was on the right track for that. Would you rather be in company of a racist, or would you rather be in the company of a bigot? Me, I choose the racist every time. You know where you stand, you know what's happening with him, and therefore you react in likewise manner. With the bigot, what do you do? He's smiling at you, he's winking at you, but the whole time he stabbed you in the back. So why not? Why wouldn't you want to be in the presence of a true racist as opposed to an old smiling bigot?
Okay. So can Caucasians be awakened? Can they be a part of the RBG movement?
Hell no. Nah. For what?
Okay.
Hell no. Nah. Be awakened on what? On what level?
I mean, as far as the conscious theory, you know, can they be beneficial to moving to our movement?
Here's the thing. I don't know what they can be because my concern is not of them. They have everything worked out.
Okay.
Contrary to a lot of black people's beliefs, when they say we don't need to bash white, you don't need to defend any Caucasians. They will be okay.
Right.
They will be okay without any black support, any black empathy, sympathy, help, condolences. They don't need none of that from any African people. They will be okay. They doing their thing. But what we need to do is quit worrying about them and do what we need to do. That's what we need to be focused on.
So what exactly does RBG feel like we need to do as a whole? Is there separation? Do we need our own? Do we need to get back on the boat and go back to Africa? What do you guys feel like we need to do in order to improve, you know, us as a whole?
Well, you know, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, he never set foot on African soil.
Definitely.
He never set foot on African soil. It wasn't his own choice. You know, it was forces that be and the powers at hand prevented that, but he knew that Africa was in him, and that's why he was able to move the way he was able to move. So do I think there is something as where some of us may want to go? Definitely. I definitely want to visit the motherland and live. Definitely one day. If I can, so be it. There's other ones of us over here who believe that, no, why should we abandon what our ancestors struggled so hard to build? Because, you know, we built this over here.
Yeah, this is us.
Regardless of not running anything, but yeah, when you turn 360 and look around, that's us right here. We know about all the monuments that was, you know, taken from Kemet and things that is of our culture and heritage. We look around and we see all that. So you have some that do want to, you know, go back, and you have some that want to stay. I don't think that's really like an issue that's going to divide us because, of course, if we're able to regain and build up the motherland, of course, who wouldn't want to go back and stay, visit, you know, back and forth? Who wouldn't?
Definitely. So what type of programs, you know, is RBG implementing to build us up? What are you guys doing in the community right now to move us forward? Okay.
Man, that is so many things going on and so many things going on in each state and within each community and within each individual. The brothers in Texas, you know, that's the mecca of the RBG movement. That's the mecca right there. The brothers out there in Texas, you know, there's the Uhuru Academy down there in Texas where they teaching the babies. These kids can compete with some of these college students and these high schoolers in knowledge, black knowledge. We ain't talking about just going to school and learning 2 + 2 is 4. We're talking about learning the fundamentals of black knowledge. Those brothers down there doing an excellent job down there. They help the community. They go around to where black folks live in the communities and they teach and they show by example.
All right.
There's brothers in New York. There's brothers in Ohio, brothers and sisters in Ohio and Atlanta and Milwaukee, Los Angeles, Arizona. Brothers and sisters are all over. They're linking up. As you do know, we had a RBG Family Day weekend in August 22nd, and we all migrated down into Texas, and we had a good time, and we talked about a lot of things, and we, you know, shook hands and locked arms and embraced each other. And that's a bond that's been solidified now. So we all know how to get to the mother state if we need to. You know what I mean? And not many people can say that. Not many people can say that if they need to. If they get a comrade's call as to where, look, this is where we need to be, they got somewhere to go. We have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say I'm not bragging. I am bragging on that because I'm proud of that. We won't be running around like chickens with their head cut off trying to figure out where we're going to go. We have some place to group up and meet. And that's what all of us need to be doing instead of just, looking to the sky and opening up these old-ass books, these words and these Bibles and these so-called sacred books. That ain't going to get you nowhere.
Alrighty. So are you guys like the modern-day Black Panther movement? And I'm not talking as far as the name, or I'm just talking about the ideology, the same type of presence in our community, the same type of passion move us forward as a whole to change our status quo in this country.
The passion is there. But make no mistake, them brothers and sisters from the Black Panther Party, the original Black Panther Party, ain't nobody touching them brothers and sisters. Y'all know that. Ain't no group, organization, combined, total. We all got together right now. All of us, the Moors, RBG, it'll take a lot to touch that right there because, remember, them brothers and sisters did that without no instant messages, no text messages, no electronics. Old school newspapers and word of mouth, and your word was your bond. They accomplished all that. We eons behind them. And trying to catch up to living up to that, but we slowly on the path. Like I said, at least we in a movement and we're not in a struggle anymore. We're in an actual movement where we're going towards that. But there's no comparison to the brothers and sisters right now to the original Black Panther Party.
Okay. So, with that, seeing that, the Black Panther Party emerged from the Black Nationalists, they ultimately condemned the whole ideology as being black racism. Okay. In turn, they more or less started focusing on a social revolution without racial separation. All right. They implemented a whole bunch of different programs in the community. They opened up different chapters. They were spreading. Their problem was they kind of exploded from the inside out. You know what I mean? There was presence from outside presence that was interfering with their day-to-day operation. They kind of bought into the hype that the instigator. You know what I mean? So I want to get your thoughts on a couple of people. First and foremost, our apprentice Bunchy Carter, local legend in L.A., was the leader of the Crenshaw men, Crenshaw boys and whatnot, old school gang out there. Became a revolutionist and led the Black Panther Party out there. What's your thoughts on Bunchy Carter, man? Bunchy
Carter was a soldier, and it's a damn shame that in the early stages of the Black Panther Party and that other group by Ron Karanga, that us slaves movement, it's a shame them brothers was getting into it with each other and actually had gunfire with each other. But like you say, that's that outside force. That's that when that COINTELPRO came in. Nobody was ready for that. The Black Panther Party was the only organization up until this date that actually gave America hell, where they had to switch up how they do everything.
Okay. Are you familiar with the name Robert Trivers?
Robert Trivers?
Yeah.
No, who's that?
Robert Trivers is one of the few white Black Panther Party members. He's actually given credit for killing John Frey, the cat that the police officer Huey P. Newton went to jail for. What do you feel about white people being part of that movement back in that time?
I mean, I don't know if I can say for sure they had white Black Panthers. I don't think they did. I think they had close associates because I know they were in contact with the Weathermen and a few other underground organizations that had predominantly white people in it. They had allies. I mean, who wasn't with revolution at that time? You had some people that were non-black that were seeing what the government was doing. They were seeing the infiltration of the drugs and conspiracies and war going on. So you had people that was rising up, and naturally, anytime there's like a social unrest, it's usually black people at the head of it. Back in those times, we were usually at the head of it, so everyone was looking to us. And being that the Black Panthers was the most supreme group at that time, yeah, they had people reaching for them. They had I'm familiar with the Asian guy they have. I forget his name right now. He was the #1 gun runner for the Black Panther Party, but in the end, he was a plant. He was an FBI agent.
Yeah.
You know, so my thinking from what I read about the Black Panther Party, I always said to myself, if they had some of Clarence 13X lessons, and along with some of the ancestral worship, I think that Queen Summer would have had a little bit more problems infiltrating, a little bit more.
Definitely. Man, I as always, I really enjoy chopping it up with you, man. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and place you on hold, let our other guests come on. But I do want to bring you back on for the second half. We're going to have somewhat of a big powwow, big discussion with everybody that's on today, all right?
Brother.
All right, appreciate it, man. All right, man, so, excuse me?
I was going to say, before we actually bring on our next guest, I want to say to all the callers that's calling in, if you could hold your calls for the next hour, we'll start taking calls sometime around 8:15, 8:20. We kind of want to give these two guests a chance to really get their points across. If you can, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Tru.
All right. So our next guest on the show is a brother that I met a few months back. We jumped in quite a few discussions on how we can move our people forward as a whole, what it's going to take to create change. This brother is part of the Nation of Islam. He has a lot of strong views. He's not one of these cats that was converted down the line. He was actually born and raised in the Nation of Islam. With no further ado, we want to bring on our second guest, Mr. Karem Ali. Are you with us, brother?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to all the blessings and brothers and sisters online.
All
yes,
right.
sir.
All right.
How's it going,
Kareem?
This is G.
I'm doing good. Just at the hospital with my son right now. Had a little situation, but everything is good. So just listen to the brother and ready to just give my heart and my mind into this session.
So,
okay, so before you actually begin dropping that science, Tru actually introduced you as growing up in the Nation of Islam. If you can kind of give us a little bit more in depth about yourself and what you kind of stand for.
Okay, well, hold on a second.
Now we live, brother. We live.
All right. So while he's talking over there,
yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm just talking to the nurse.
Yeah, we
okay,
got
so
a
just to
live
answer
show,
your
bro.
question, I'm sorry about that. Apologize. Deep apologies.
No, it's all good.
To answer your question, the Nation of Islam stands for freedom, justice, and peace and equality for all. Just to clarify on a lot of things, the MindOverMatter brother, as a matter of fact, I do want to say the brother, he did carry some good points and a lot of good things he did say that us, members of the Nation of Islam, do agree with. I love the brother's spirit. He got a good, strong spirit. His mind and spirit is in the right place. But I just want to clarify a few things that he may have some misguidance and understanding on. And to get back to the question that you asked me, the Nation of Islam is basically, it was basically based on, started in Detroit in 1930. A person named Master Farad Muhammad, who came from East Mecca, went to Detroit in 1930, who found and raised up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the home birthplace where I'm from, Detroit, Michigan. Now, just to set the record straight, black people as a whole on the planet has always been Muslims. That's our nature. And what we have to understand, the fact that we have been brought over here, made in America, anytime you take a people and take their God, their religion, their names, their folk ways, their culture, and rob them of self-knowledge, this is what you get in what you call a coon or a nigger. See, God makes men. The white man makes niggers. And that's what they did with us. So we have always been Muslims. We don't have no birth rate. We've been on this planet longer than the sun. We've been on this planet. They keep building, they keep pulling up bones and archaeologies in different parts of the planet and finding our old bones. We don't have no birth rate. And to this situation with the Muslims is we're not trying to convert nobody because you can't never run from the nature. We are born by nature righteous people. The behavior that we have in us right now today, we have been raised up under a wicked people, a people who has been created from our loins. We must understand that the white man is a made people. This is why they prefer themselves as mankind, because they are kind of a human being. They're kind of a species. They are not the original people on the planet. We are. We are gods. We was brought here and brought down from a God state to a nigger state. We are dead, blind, deaf, and dumb people. 85% of our people here in America are blind, deaf, and dumb. That's without knowledge of themselves. The other 10% is what the brother MindOverMatter was talking about. There are coons. They have already sold their souls and already accepted this way of life, going along to get along. If you talk too much black, they don't want you to talk too much black. It's what you call the house nigga. You know, they feel, you know, the house nigga always running to the master. Master, he trying to get away. Or master, he talking about this. You know, the field niggas is the ones that was out there, you know, picking the cotton and sweating and bleeding. Your Nat Turners, your Jacqueline and Verocious, them type of brothers. So we have always been Muslims, and as far as in our nature. So,
brother,
the nation
brother,
of
I want to interject real quick, and I don't mean to cut your point. We definitely gonna have more time to get into your views.
Yes, sir.
With you bringing up a couple of different things, I want to explore some possibilities or whatnot. You brought up the word, I believe it was
field nigga. He said something about field nigga. So the opposite,
field nigga.
And I don't mean to take over Tru, but I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Try to put his brother. You brought up field nigga. So the opposite of a field nigga would be a house nigga or Uncle Tom, correct?
Correct. In the day and time, you want to say Tom, you know, Uncle Tom, you know, that's how you want to put it. Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I hear a lot of the ministers and, you know, a lot of elder Muslims in the Nation of Islam kind of say or speak on. So I do want to actually play the same game that we played with MindOverMatter. I don't know if you was listening, but we want you to play Call It Like It Is, okay?
Call it like it is. It's a field nigga.
The basis of the game is we're going to give you a list of different names, and you need to classify them as a Uncle Tom or a field nigga. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So those are the two categories. Those are your two choices. The whole purpose of the game is you to be able to spit them out as soon as he say the name. You know what I mean? Without thinking, you need to spit them out. Okay.
I heard it just like I was in on the whole session when y'all was talking to MindOverMatter.
So let's get it cracking. We're gonna play Call It Like It Is. Here's our host, Mr. G. Trebek.
All right, Karem Ali. Are you ready for this? Call It Like It Is.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and spit out some names. You either let me know if they're a house nigga or Uncle Tom. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon, that's a house nigga.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, he was a field nigga transferred to a house nigga.
Malachi Z. York.
Malachi Z. York. Can you help me find? I heard that the brother's name. Is that the one that wrote the Book of Lam?
Well, he wrote a lot of books, and he was like the head.
He wrote a lot of books, but is that one of the books he wrote? The Book of Lam? Yeah,
he was actually the head of the Nuwaubian movement.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, I remember. I know who you're talking about. He wrote a lot of books on Yaqub and stuff like that. Malachi, I don't see him as either for the simple fact, you know, he stands for a lot of strong points. I think he just, you know, his guidance is in the wrong way. You know, competing with, you know, I don't like different black organizations trying to compete with another because we never get anywhere. You know, that's that crab in the barrel behavior. So I just say crab in the barrel behavior.
So is that an Uncle Tom or a house nigga?
Neither.
Okay. Tyrese. Yes.
Field nigga.
Dr. Cornel West.
House nigga.
Floyd Mayweather.
House nigga.
Omar Epps.
With hands. House nigga with hands. Goddamn, that nigga got hands. Okay, my bad.
We want to hear. We want to hear. Yeah,
House
we want to hear. Cat Williams.
House nigga. But no. He was, but he's a field nigga because he ain't in the industry no more. He exposed some stuff, and they got on him. So, yeah, he's a field nigga now.
Okay, how about Holly Berry?
They let him. Oh, definitely house nigga.
And last, Sarah Sutton-Seti.
Who?
Sarah Sutton-Seti.
I don't know who that is, brother.
Oh, you don't know who Sarah Sutton-Seti is? Okay.
No, if you can,
all right.
I don't want to comment on nobody that I don't know. You know, that would be misguided and misleading to me to do that.
No,
I don't want to, comment on nobody that I don't know.
Well spoken. He's actually a strong brother, you know what I mean, who kind of represents somewhat of the RBG movement a little bit. At the same time, he still represents the Black Cartel, and he has a lot of PowerPoints. You maybe should go ahead and research them so you can kind of gather a view on them. All right.
Okay. All right.
So we are coming to the top of the hour in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and get into this with Kareem. We are going to take a short break, maybe after 3 or 4 minutes of dialoguing, and then we'll come back and we'll return. I'll return interviewing Kareem, and after that, all the callers that's listening, if you want to call in and speak when we bring both of the guests on at the same time, please feel free to do so. Thank you for tuning into the Tru Gee show. All right, Kareem.
Yes, sir.
So we know that you're pretty much a follower of the Nation of Islam, and we kind of know your overall standings of how you feel. So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
And this has been kind of boggling my mind for a little bit. I was wondering, is the Nation of Islam followers of Elijah Muhammad or Louis Farrakhan?
I'm glad you asked that question, and I've been wanting to clarify that main question. The Nation of Islam is followers of Almighty God Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
Let me answer it because I want to answer it the correct way. Because we don't pray to idols. We don't pray to no graven images, like Moses said. We don't pray to nobody, but to Almighty God Allah. However, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a messenger.
Okay.
Every time that it was a time when there was a people who oppressed the people, God always sent a messenger, like he sent Moses. So because we're living in a time and ruled and oppressed by our people, he sent the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who's a messenger. And what do a messenger do? He gives you a message. Now, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was presumed dead, because he's not dead, he's on the mother plane, and we're going to get to that in a minute when you come back after the break. But he left the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is the divine warner to us all. Now, let me clarify what that means. That means that the same followers that was following the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in that day is the same followers that's listening and up under the leadership of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan because he left him in charge.
Okay,
so people,
basically,
you have to understand. I just want to say this last bit, and then you can go back.
Okay, go ahead.
I ain't going to be too long with it. I just want to just say this a little bit. You have to understand, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had left us, was presumed dead, a lot of followers had left because the nation had failed for 3 years. The Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan had lifted and got the Nation of Islam back on his feet. He had started the Nation of Islam back in 1977 and been going strong ever since. That's why when you ever listen to Farrakhan, go on YouTube, go listen to his lectures, he always say, in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he always come in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's name to let you know that he's taking no credit for himself. He's a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Word. So that actually leads me to the question that you kind of touched on. And, I mean, I know a lot of people actually out there want to know, do you so heartily believe that Master Prophet Muhammad was God in the flesh?
Yes, he's God in the flesh, and I'll explain it to you why he's God in the flesh. First of all, do you know how hard it's a job to raise and get black people to their original state? We are messed up. Like I said before, when you take a people and take their God, their name, their morals away, this is why when you go into the nation, they give you an X. What do the X mean? Use an X-slave. Just like how they brand their animals on the farm, when they give you a name like William, Jackson, Green, Blue, you ain't got no God name, no original name. You got a slave name. This is why when you get a God name like Karem Ali or Omar Hassan, this is one of his attributes. You got your original name. Master Farah Muhammad, who came from all the way from Mecca, he has studied us for 40 years. When you read the Bible in the Holy Quran, and let me clarify, the Holy Quran is only a defender of the Bible because the Bible has been tampered with so much by King James, who was a fag, who actually had incest with his own mother, had purposely detoured the Bible to purposely keep people in slave mentality. This is why Christianity is no type of it's not a religion uplifts you. It keeps you in a slave mentality mind. But getting back to the basis, when he came here, before he even got here, he studied us for 40 years. There's nobody on this planet or in this universe that claimed black people. Everybody look at us as black.
Well, one thing we are going to do, we're going to take a look at that. We are at the top of the hour, so I hate to cut you off, Ali, but we do have to take a break. And we will continue this after the short break. We are back at all of the second hour to the Tru Gee Show. We was actually interviewing Karem, who seems like a very bright.
Just to refresh our memories, tonight's topic is who has the patent on the Black Power movement? Is there a patent on the Black Power movement? Brother Karem, you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he's still there. All right, so we actually left off Karem with Master Farah Muhammad, and you were saying that he was God in the flesh, and that's who pretty much came to the Western. Hold on,
and I don't want to spend too much time. I don't want to spend too much time on that because I know we're on a time situation, so I'm gonna try to put it all in a nutshell.
Yeah, well,
and
I mean, you kind of gave the people an idea of who your God was, which leads me to my next question I would like to ask you. Because there's some drawings of Farah Muhammad in pictures and that the FBI have on him where he does look like a white man. So he was a white man, correct?
That's why I was getting ready. This is what I'm getting ready to get to. That's why I said I want to put it in a nutshell so y'all can understand, because there's a lot of false.
Okay, well, before you begin, if you're going to comment on that, let me finish asking this question because it's going to go along with probably what you want to say. So I want to know. I'm going to ask you this again. There are drawings out there for Farah Muhammad, and the FBI actually do have pictures of him to where, like I said, he does look like a white man. How do you, as an NOI member, deal with the knowledge of knowing that your God came down in the form of a white man who taught your nation that the white man was the devil and that the so-called Negro actually came from the tribe of Shabazz from the jungles of Africa?
Okay. So, first and foremost, he's not a white man. He's a black man. Second of all, we know the FBI have pictures with him because he allowed the FBI to arrest him just so he can get out of jail to show them what type of power, and they ain't never been able to see him again. This is right before he left the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, after he taught Honorable Elijah Muhammad 3.5 years. You have to understand, before the white man even thought going on to the moon and building a rocket ship, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching about that. Okay? But I'm going to get back to the basics. The Master Farah Muhammad was born from a black man named Alfonso, who's blacker than your hair or blacker than anything you can see, who was a god at this time. This is when we was at our god state. And from a white woman who he cast the 7 demons out of at the time. Okay? He was created looking like a white man, but as a black man. So when he come in the world, like it says in the Bible, he was going to come in a thief as a night, both nations, fairly. Because really, the real confrontation is between black and white. You have to understand, the white man is a made people. This is why black can make white and white can make black. You can take 2 black people and have sex, a black woman and a black man have sex, and a albino baby can come out, or a dark baby, or caramel complected, or red baby, whatever. But 2 white people can never make a dark baby. This is why every time we have sex with anybody on the planet other than black, the black blood is like a disease. It taints the blood. It's going to always come out black. So he's not a white man, but the FBI took pictures of his real identity but put fake pictures out there to detour and confuse and cause confusion among people. Now, we know and understand that it's very hard and difficult for people to understand that God is a human being. But how can you, anybody, no matter what religion you is, you say God is the all-knowing, he's the master of all the worlds, he's the king of all kings. If he's all that, how he going to be all that and not master the world of flesh? What makes you think he going to give you 3 bodies, a mind, body, and soul, in flesh, and he going to go give himself a spirit? Us Muslims don't believe in no spook. If I told you, brother, I bought all of y'all right now a 2015 BMW, it's right outside, and you go outside, put your phone down from this show that we on right now, and went at it, and you say, where's it at? I said, oh, it's in spirit. Man, you get back on the phone and cuss me out and laugh at me. But if you go out there and you see it in physical form, then you say, okay, I believe that. So God created us in a physical world. He gave us a spirit, which is the essence of our being. But the spirit cannot live without the body. So, yes, we believe in Master Fard Muhammad. He looks like a white man, but he's not a white man. But there are portraits of him that is not him. And if you really want to get the real picture, come holler at me or go to the Nation of Islam and we'll show you the picture.
I actually have a real picture of your Master Fard Muhammad. So let me ask you this. The Nation of Islam, which I'm under the impression of, they are considered to be Muslims, correct?
Well, Muslims, yeah, we are Muslims.
Okay. Because I actually come from a Sunni background. Well, say it again?
Just to let you know, you're a Muslim by nature too. Brother MindOverMatter, he's a Muslim by nature too. You just don't know it yet.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, Doc. Yeah, I'm not a Muslim. I was once a Sunni Muslim, and I used to really be wrapped up into that type of doctrine. But as I started to grow and evolve, Islam wasn't anything in me. And, I mean, that was
such a question. Do you understand what I mean when I say you are a Muslim?
Yeah, Muslim means to submit to what they call God.
No, that's what that not is. Do you know what a Muslim is?
That is what a Muslim is. What's a Muslim, brother?
A Muslim is a person who submit themselves to be obedient and live righteous to God. That's what a Muslim is. A Muslim ain't a person who wear a bow tie and a suit, who wear a kufi on their head, or who sell bean pies and final cars. That's not a Muslim. A Muslim is born in the nature to live, to submit, and be obedient to God. And the only reason why we call him Allah is because he's all of that, Jah, Jesus, whatever. So anybody can wear a bow tie and a suit and sell final cars or kufi and pray 5 times. The devil can do that. You can make your mouth say anything, but at the end of the day, your actions speak louder than words.
No, most definitely. But I was under the impression I did say Muslim meant to submit to God, correct? I wasn't never a Nation of Islam. I was a Sunni Muslim, and I kind of, I was kind of adapted and trained into the actual Arabic dialogue. So I was just giving you a simple.
That's the misunderstanding. I'm glad you said that, brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't commit to any religion. So to me, there's no misunderstanding with me anymore. I was more misunderstood when I was practicing Islam, according to me. Now that I'm out of it, I have a full understanding of a lot of things, and that's why what I got to get into now is that, like I asked you in a previous question, I said, are you okay, and you're aware of what Master Fard Muhammad pretty much brought the type of knowledge to Elijah Muhammad, claiming that he came in the form of a white man with the color, or you say he was black, but his skin color showed otherwise. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is that he kind of taught them about a tribe of Shabazz from the jungles of Africa, correct?
Okay, you asked me that. Okay, do you know who the tribe of Shabazz is?
Well, I'm going to, you can probably help me out because I did some research on, and like I said, I've actually been in Islam, and I've done a lot of research on this matter. And in no Muslim country in the Middle East or Africa could you trace the name Shabazz to. The only place you could trace the name Shabazz to is in India. Like Apu and the Jungle Book, those type of names. That's the only place you can find a Shabazz. So can you explain a little bit where Shabazz actually comes from?
Okay, well, like I said before we even was on a downfall of knowledge when we built the pyramids, as I said before, when God created man, when he first created man in our original state. And because we had certain, when God created the universe, he created the yin and yang, negative energy, positive energy. So at the time, you had certain gods, not the God who created the heavens and the earth, wanted everybody to follow them. They wanted to be the man. They wanted to be the God.
Before you go on,
let me get to my question.
But let me just get understanding. The God you're talking about is Master Fard Muhammad, correct?
Right. I'm talking. But I have to explain it to you because you have to understand. when you ask a question, I have to go to a certain root of it to get to the point where you're talking about, because you're disagreeing with a certain point, and I want to prove mine in the fact. So, I mean, you're asking a question, so I want to make sure you understand, so you understand how this begot that and that begot that. I'm not going to take too much time with it, but I'm going to try to wrap it up as quick as I can.
Most definitely. And not to cut you off, but that's why I wanted to kind of clarify, was the God that you was talking about who created all of this, was Master Farad Muhammad or another deity outside of him? So it is Master Farad Muhammad. That's clear, correct?
No. Okay, let me explain this list. Master Farad Muhammad is not the God.
So he's not the Most High.
Okay, right. No, hear me. I'm saying he's God in person. He's the one who possesses the spirit with all the knowledge of the heavens and the earth, and got all the power, control of the nature and everything. Okay, and all the intelligence. Okay, but he's not the one who created the heavens and the earth. Okay. That knowledge is always passed down. Every 25,000 years is a new God that comes on the scene that possesses that power and possesses that spirit. I'm going to get into all that. Like I say, that's why I got to go to a certain root of a situation, because when you ask me a question, I have to explain certain things. So I want to get back to the Shabbat. I don't want to get off the topic here. As I said before, when we was guys at one time, everybody, you had certain ones, like the God at the time who created the moon. He wanted everybody to follow him, so he dug a big hole in the middle of the earth, because the earth used to be half water and half land at one time. But he dug a whole big hole in the earth and filled it up with a whole bunch of explosives and blew the planet up, and the planet split like a bubble, like a soap bubble. It split like a bubble, thus creating the moon. This is why when you look at Neil Armstrong, one of the first person in 1968, when they took him when he went to the moon, this is why he said one little step for man and one big step for mankind. Stop. Well, who's man and who's mankind? He talking about two people. Then when they brought samples back from the moon, they found that same thing that Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching before they even went to the moon. That Honorable Elijah Muhammad said when the moon have gunpowder and the same rocks and dust, it's the same rocks and dust that's on the planet. Now, when we created the white man, when Yaku created the white man, we was all, you know how your hair is on your face, on your eyelashes, how straight it is? You see how thick your hair is on your eyelash or your eyebrow?
Yes, I do.
That's how all our hair used. Yeah, have you noticed why your hair is real slick and fine on your eyebrows?
Well, I heard it before from Louis Farrakhan.
Okay, right. That's how our hair used to be. That's how our hair used to be before we was changed by Shabazz.
So we had straight hair.
The 12 elders at the time, Shabazz was one of the elders, one of the 12 scientists. They seen in the future that we was getting ready to go through a worse time. We was getting ready to go through a harsh time, meaning slavery. So Shabazz took his tribe and he wanted to take this group of people and change the identity. This is why he made our hair kinky. He took us in the east part of the Mecca, because one time we used to call the whole planet Mecca. But we went to the east part of Mecca, which is now called Africa, the jungle. So he took us into jungle, and he changed our identity. He made our lips thick. He made our nose bigger, and he made our hair kinky. He wanted us to be the strongest people on the planet, because we had to endure a time and some suffering like nobody on this planet right now had to endure. And if you look and see what they did to us in slavery, why do you think we're still here today with all these AIDS and everything? They're even killing us. So to answer your question, yes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You said that's the reason why we're still here today, but the name Shabazz, where is it in Africa? Because you said that we actually did come from the jungles of Africa.
Shabazz is not a place. Shabazz is a scientist. He's one of the 12 elders.
So it's not a last name then, right? So when a lot of the Nation of Islam take on the name Shabazz, they're taking it on after the words of what Master Farad Muhammad left, or the legacy, or is it an actual name? That's why I asked you. When I trace back, there is no origins of the name of Shabazz, only in India. So was Master Farad Muhammad an actual person who actually came from Mecca? Because Mecca, they don't have any last name Shabazz. And where do you guys get it from? And you said that pretty much that he did all of this science and through the straight hair and the nose. And
just to clarify, Shabazz is not a place. on the planet.
No,
Shabazz
I'm not.
one of the 12 elders. He's a scientist. His name was Shabazz. We was from the tribe of Shabazz. The Shabazz was a scientist. We are people from his loins. We was his tribe. So that's like if you, with your last name, if you created a tribe, whatever your last name is, and if you had a whole bunch of babies and they had babies and babies and babies, then all their children is from that tribe. They from that family. They from that sect.
Yeah,
so
my last name can be traced back to where my last name is Link. It's not too many links in the world, and if you're a Link, then you're related.
Mute him and then bring it in.
My last name is Link, Lynk. There's not too many people on the planet with the last name Link, and if they are, they're related to me.
Long there ain't no Williams and Jones and Blue and Green and Roundtree. Because if you got any of those type of names, we know where those names come from.
Yeah, we know where those names come from. I agree with you on that.
We know
brother.
where those names come from. But just to clarify you, but a lot of people keep misunderstanding, Shabazz is not a place. Shabazz is a scientist. He was one of the 12 elders. And we are from his family. It's like being from the seed of Abraham. Put it like that.
Most definitely.
The same type of thing.
But the Ham still remains. You know what I mean? The Ham, you can still find people with that name. That's why I was trying to say to you that Shabazz, I know it's not a place, but it's a name. You said that it was named after a scientist, a scientist that actually lived and did some type of science.
That's his name. His name is Shabazz. The scientist's name was Shabazz. Like my name is Kareem. Like my children. If my children got children and children, whatever, then they'll be from the tribe of Kareem or from the tribe of Ali. Kareem Ali.
They wouldn't be from the last name of the tribe?
We were his people.
They wouldn't be like the last name, like a plantation, how you were just saying, like a Henry, a John, or whatever, or a Ford. Most of these people were on plantations, and they carried on their last name.
Right. So we was like for example, like with the Native Americans, you got the Navajos, you got this, you got that. We was from his tribe. We was his people. He took his group of people that he was over, that he spread his seed and his sperm and created his own little nation or civilization with his people. He took his group of people, took them to the jungle, and he changed their identity. He made our blood thicker. He changed. It was still, you got to understand, the planet used to be nothing but black people. Never was white people on the planet.
I'm aware of all of
people.
That. No, I'm aware of that. So let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. Are you aware that your God, Master Prophet Muhammad, was a student of Noble Drew Ali?
No, he was not no student of Noble Drew Ali. As a matter of fact, Noble Drew Ali was a student of him.
So you're saying that. So you're saying that.
Did you know that Albert Einstein was also a student?
Hold on. Let's clarify something now, because you made something that's not historical. Master Prophet Muhammad, before Noble Drew Ali, never had a nation. Do you disagree or agree?
Say that again.
Before Noble Drew Ali, Master Prophet Muhammad never had a nation of his own.
And as I said before, Master Prophet Muhammad at the time,
Elijah Muhammad was nowhere around when Noble Drew Ali was.
I'm trying to ask you a question. You're making a statement, and I want to combat that statement so I can clarify. You're right.
Okay.
Nobody knew who Master Prophet Muhammad was when Noble Drew Ali and Marcus Garvey and all these people was in America at the time when they was doing their black righteous thing, trying to get their people rallied up. Nobody didn't know who Master Prophet Muhammad was because he came and he snuck in the States. They didn't even, not even the government of America didn't even know he was here. He was here for at least about 5 to 10 years before they even knew what was going on. Before he even knew what was going on, like I said, he was still he studied us for 40 years before he even came over here. And when he died here, before he even revealed himself to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he had spent time out here to study the enemy. So when he set up shop of the Nation of Islam, the way how he set it up, he was just selling silks, going door to door, selling his silks, selling the final calls, or the Muhammad speech, and he started setting up shops like, you know how people do study groups these days? That's how he started the mob, by doing study groups over people's house. And then he revealed himself to Honorable Elijah Muhammad because Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew the Bible real good, and it says that the Son of Man was going to come. This is why, if you don't know any scripture, if anybody is out there, and I'll have to say this in the name of Allah, if anybody is out there disagree with any scripture or don't believe in the Bible or the Holy Quran, it's very difficult to have a dialogue with that person because that person have already made up their mind. They don't even want to hear it. And when you're talking about something, when it comes to heaven, when we're talking about, if you can't prove it in science or scripture or in biblical, anybody at that point in time has a right to disagree with you. Because
no, you're right, and that's why I'm going
right
to. And that's why we're going to pull out some dates and times. But before we continue, we do have some callers. Let's go ahead and so we're going to go ahead and get ready to take some callers. All right, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
This is a random thought from Tru. This is a random thought from Tru.
Now, my random thought of today is I was at the motherfucking grocery store, and I seen this fly-ass couple. I mean, they was suited and booted, dressed to the motherfucking T's. So I'm like, okay, that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? An attractive black couple looking fly, dressed to the motherfucking T. And then we got back to the parking lot, and I seen that kids didn't have on the motherfucking clothes on. I said, what the fuck happened? How do you get completely dressed and bring your kids out in a motherfucking diaper? That shit don't make no goddamn sense. If you get dressed, have enough motherfucking decency to dress your fucking kids. Your ass ain't coming out in a Gucci diaper, bitch. Get dressed. That's my motherfucking random thought of the day.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, callers, if you're actually
on the matter, man.
All right. So, caller with the last four digits 2045. You're on the Tru Gee show. What's on your mind?
Hi. Yeah, this is Maine. I'm from Brother Ronell. I'm from RBG, New York chapter or whatever. At the end of the day, man, all we need to do is just unify and organize. That's what I'm all about. Forget about the arguing about what's this and what's that. We just got to organize ourselves, put race first, black first, African first, whatever you want to call yourself, indigenous, whatever. Organize, unify, and strategize. That's all. I'm not with the arguing and the debating, plain and simple. Word. We just got to get our shit together as a people, plain and simple.
No, you're right. You're right.
So let me ask you this, brother, real quick. Let me ask you this while we got you on the line. When we organize, or if we organize, under what direction do we fall into?
Under what direction?
Under what direction? I mean, if we moving forward, somebody got to be driving the car. So under what philosophy are we moving forward? Are we moving forward under the NOI umbrella, under the Black Movement umbrella as a whole, under RBG's umbrella? What umbrella? What direction are we falling in line at?
I think the best solution is the Garvey way. Race first, period. Not religion first, not none of that stuff. Race first. That's it. Plain is not rocket science. Race first and organized. That's it. If people with RBG Pan-Africanism, we not about nobody dropping their movement or whatever. You could be NOI. You could keep your philosophy, but when we come together as African people, because we don't suffer because of what beliefs and what beliefs we don't have. We going through this oppression because of who we are.
Most likely. Let me interject real quick.
And I'm not interested in looking forward to one black leader. We need to have a collective, because every time when there's one or two black leaders, they either get killed, corrupted, or paid off. We need headless leadership.
No, great point. But I'm going to interject something real quick. As far as the debating goes, and with religion, if you have different types of philosophies coming together in one group, they'll always be divided because they'll still have that perception of a spook God out there that another organization or another side would never agree to. Hold on, brother. Let me finish this.
Okay.
Now before a person can kind of get clarity, also we have other listeners on the line, so we want to kind of bring out what it's about. So when the person says they're not for the debate, I'm for debating. I'm not for the arguing.
Let me put it as that. I'm not. Debating is all right, but not the arguing.
No, most definitely. Right now, what we're doing is we're providing a platform to where those that might not be familiar with the RBG movement or the Nation of Islam movement. Right now, you guys have a platform in order and to not just to recruit, but kind of clarify where you stand and give people a better understanding that you guys aren't trying to put us back. You guys are actually trying to bring us forward. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is that platform to give you, because I promise you, Bill O'Reilly or some of these other shows, they're not gonna give a second thought on giving the public a chance to really find out what RBG stand for. You feel me?
Yeah, that's true. But what we basically stand for is just race first, black people first, African people first, indigenous people for whatever you want to call yourself. That's first. Race first, nationality first. My thing is, I'm not against really anybody's religion, even though I'm not part of any. But when we come together, let's meet together as black people and what got to be done for black people. I'm not interested in making you lose your religion or whatever. I want to know, as long as you about our people and that's what you sincere about, black empowerment and for our people, and that's it. You could keep your religion. We don't need to argue about ideologies and religion. We could leave that stuff at home. When we come together, we just need to talk about black, African people, politics, and advancement. That's it.
All right.
No,
you
making great points. What's your name again, God?
My name is Ronell. And
okay,
I'm
that's
the
good,
RBG New York chapter. That's all. I'm not interested in telling people you arguing all day about who God is real, who God is fake. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe, though, brother. Because some people, they don't want to let their things go, and I understand that because that's what you believed in your whole life. But when we come together, that's just what we need to talk about: black people business and black people advancement. That's it. Your God and stuff, like Malcolm X used to say, leave that at home. That's between you and your God.
Most definitely.
Well, look, man, Renell, we appreciate you calling in. What we want to do is we went ahead and we set up, we knew the topic was going to be, heavy. A lot of people want to know the difference and where do we fall in line, so to speak. So what we did is we went ahead and we came up with some questions. Actually, we didn't even come up with the questions. We went to the streets. I went ahead and did my homework. I downloaded a couple of videos from both perspectives, and I showed just, some random people that maybe weren't familiar with RBG or only knew of the NOI as cats on the corner with bean pies and bow ties.
There's more to NOI than that.
Exactly. So what I did is I downloaded some perspectives, some positive rallies from both organizations, and I showed them to some random people on the streets just to get some feedback and kind of create some dialogue or some questions that maybe we're not asking, okay?
Hold on, True. Before we get into that, we do want to take another caller, and before I actually, I'll do it after I bring on this next caller. I do want to go ahead and speak one more time to Kareem on just one more subject before we actually get into that. But let's go ahead and bring on the caller with the last four digits, 4214.
Peace,
4214, are you there?
Peace, yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, what's going on? Who we speaking to?
Hey, this is Rod Gerald.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, brother Rod Gerald? What's up, guys? Listen, man, I'm going to be brief, direct, and just kind of keep it simple. I represent the RBG on the West Coast, and this is how it is. We done been stuck in there. I've been a part of the Nation of Islam. I was a Christian, was going to be a minister, did all that. Here's what I know. Not what I think. Here's what I know, okay? When you practice religion, you get stuck, you get tied down, your mind cannot expand. It's not that we were God, we are God. Where did God go? There's nowhere for the Creator to go except in us, and you keep recycling. So it's not no one man was God. I'm not going to argue the brother's religion because I've been there, I've done that, not here to tear him down. But I'm going to quote Malcolm X. We, black men, have had a hard enough time in our struggle for justice and already have enough enemies, as it is, to make the drastic mistake of attacking each other and adding more weight to an already unbearable load. That's by the brother Malcolm X, okay?
All right.
If you have to tear down another black man in any form, you are part of the problem. And that goes for my brother that's on the phone there, you know what I'm saying, and he know who I'm talking to, because I've talked to him personally. I'm not going to tear you down, black man, because I know your condition. So I'm going to uplift you. I'm not going to tear you down in any form. I'm not going to call you no coon. I'm not going to call you no nigga or peon, none of that, because at the end of the day, what is that going to get us? Okay? So let's focus on what we can do correctly and justly. And if you ain't a part of what I'm doing, guess what? You're irrelevant to me. You don't even exist. You are irrelevant. I'm not going to focus no time and no energy telling you who you are, what you don't do. I am God, okay? Point blank, living in the flesh, making babies and everything else, and uplifting my people if I got to do it one by one, okay? So enough is enough. If I got to tear you down and then tell you I love you, come on, man, love builds. Love don't tear down, you know? And sometimes you got to be a little harsh, but that don't mean I don't love you. I don't got no out of my soul. Nobody on the phone, nobody, because you have to love yourself. So I heard you ask the question, where do we start at? We start with loving ourselves. Because when you focus on loving yourself and knowing who you are, black man, you don't have time to go around hating nobody and worried about what nobody else is doing because you was being distracted. You being misguided because you caught up in the rhetoric and the mumbo-jumbo.
Most definitely, right? I mean, you hit some points, and that's why, like I said, at the end of the day, me personally, this is G talking. I am against religion, all religion. I don't care if you're Nation of Islam, you're Sunni Muslim, you're a Hebrew, you're a Christian, a Jew, all that. Me personally, I'm for demolishing all of that. I'm not about demolishing the black man, but I am about getting rid of all of that, because again, that's why I do have questions for him, because I'm going to go ahead and just show him some historical.
Let me say this real quick. From the master teacher, John Henry Clark, the role of religion is in the domination and destruction of African civilization was ruthless. Islam was as guilty as all the rest.
Oh, I agree. So we do appreciate your call, Rob, man. You kicked that knowledge. We're going to go back into this interview with Karem Ali and see where we at, because I know he still has a lot to get off his chest about Islam. And then we're going to go ahead and get into what Tru we're talking about, some of these questions from the streets.
G, let's let Karem go ahead and respond to that. I mean, because that was a real big statement said, and I want to get his take on what direction do we need to go? I mean, is religion the key factor on us moving forward as a whole? Mr. Ali, can you speak on that for us real quick?
Yes, sir. And before I even speak, I heard everything that was said, and I just want to clarify something, because I really didn't get to say what I want to say, because the questions that's directed is asking me the nature of who the Nation of Islam and who is Master Fard Muhammad, and that's not what I'm on here for. If you want that type of information, do your own research, but I'm going to say this. First of all, we're not no religion. Religion is something that's made for man. This is the way of life. This is who we are. This is our nature. So I'm just like that last brother that's from New York, who's from RGB or RGP, whoever it is.
RBG.
All these black organizations, all these black organizations stand for one thing. We all in the same boat. And what that boat is, we all trying to get freedom. So like the brother say, trying to talk about somebody and this is your ideology, this is your belief, that's fine. Whatever you believe, I ain't trying to convert you to no Muslim, because I know who I am. In order to know yourself, in order to know God, you got to know yourself. So I don't deal in no religion. I ain't never been in no religion. And Islam is not nothing about, it ain't got nothing to do with no religion. Islam is about freeing people, oppressed people, and that's particularly black people. Now let me tell you what we stand for and what we need to do. What we need to do as black people as a whole, the 50 to 60 million black of us in America, is come together and unify. Stop the arguing. Stop the debating about who's right and who's wrong. It don't matter who's right and who's wrong. One thing's for sure and two things for certain. We all got a target on our head. So while we all bickering about who's right and who's wrong, that target is still on our head. And what we need to do is unify every leader that's in a gang that's in the streets. Because why? They are the leaders of the youth these days. It's a plot from the highest government that's called the shadow government. And this is why when you look at TV today on the news, this is why they're killing the youth like they did in Moses' days. Kill the young male in the process of the female. The reasons why, because they are the future. This is why they can kill Michael Dunn and Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and another brother that I just seen on Facebook who was walking on the beach in Jacksonville, Miami, and they just got off the RV and just because he mean the police, he just jumped off and just slammed him, had him in the headlock, two white police officers. They killing young black males. Why? Because they are fear. They know their time of rule is over. And God has given us to our time now. It's our turn to rule. So it don't matter what organization it is. I don't care for that. Crip, Blood, Jew, Gentile. It don't matter what religion or organization you come from. We have to come to a common ground like the brother said. We black first. We are African people first. And we are under attack. Our survival as a people is at stake here. So we ain't even talking about no bickering. The Nation of Islam got mosques in UK, in Africa, in the prisons, and in every black major city. Every person that you thought, you met some of your friends, used to be a drug head, used to be a prostitute, used to be a pimp, used to be a murderer, used to be a gangbanger. We reforming people. You don't see no brothers out there selling, trying to convert nobody. We're trying to get the word out. This is why we sell the final call. It's called the final call. This is the only one of the black newspapers that's giving you the truth. We ain't trying to tell. We don't care if you believe that who our God is. The thing is you ready to ride and get on the front line and die for your freedom, because real freedom is bought with blood. And like
I'm willing to live for my freedom. You don't necessarily have to die for freedom.
Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. Would you rather to be, if you was among 1 million people and if it took 1 million blacks to get us free today, would you be willing to give your life just so the rest of the 50 or 60 million of our people can be free?
If it came to that, but watch this. But also, if I could live for that and live to see it, I would much rather live to see it rather than die to not enjoy that freedom.
I do too, but we're living in a time that might happen. Because like Jesus said, if you give your life, you save your life. But if you try to save your life, then you're losing your life. Because I'd rather die on my feet being brave as a soldier, dying, going for mines, rather than dying on my knees or living on my knees and being a slave. A coward dies 1,000 deaths, but a brave man dies once. And this is why you have these mediocre, coon, like the brother said, he is right. You got some coon leaders out there that goes along to get along. They tickle the ears of the people out here, and at the meantime, they behind closed doors taking bribes. This is why we don't have no black leaders.
I agree with that. I was just going to say, I agree with that wholeheartedly. My only thing is that when it comes to certain ideologies and philosophies, for everybody to come together, we have to demolish all of that. He said that if everybody acknowledges that we are black people, then why can't we just come as black people? Why don't we just leave all religion behind? You see, whether it's the Nation of Islam or you're coming in as a Hebrew Israelite or you're coming in as a Christian, all of those different ideologies will begin to start conflict. Say, for instance, you guys...
But see, that's the confusion right there. But see, I have to stop you right there, brother. That's the confusion. You keep categorizing us as a religion and as an ideology, and we are not no religion. We're an organization. We are a let me just clarify this. We are a nation. We got our own constitution. We believe that we should be separated from them. We believe that we should have our own land, do for self, that we should be able to do for ourselves instead of having them to do for us. We should be able to make our own food, take care of our own children, have our own schools, be our own doctors, police, and have our own government, have our own flag, have our own everything. We're not a religion.
Let me interject real quick, Brother Kareem, and I don't mean to cut you off, but we do want to take some of these questions. Coming from the streets in that way.
I just want to clarify this religion thing, because when you say religion, it's putting us in a type of category that's generating these type of questions, and I don't want to ask no religious questions. I want to ask what we're going to do to free black people questions.
No, what the only thing is, though, you know what I mean? But hold on, though, because like I said, this is something that's real deep. You know what I mean? That especially coming from me, who actually studies all of these things, these different type of philosophies, I really have to dig into it, because anybody that believes in any type of mythology or spookism god or Elijah,
mythology, brother. It's not a mythology, though.
Hold on. You cannot prove that Elijah Muhammad is somewhere on an alien spaceship right now. You cannot prove that Master Farah Muhammad was God in the flesh. You see, because this is what I was going to get to you, and because I actually know the historical with dates and times.
I'm going to ask you one question when you finish. I'm going to ask you one question when you finish your statement.
Go ahead. So I'm going to break it down then, because this is what I really, and then we can get into all the questions and everything else, because we're going to have to go overtime on this one, because this is some stuff I really have to get off my chest, and because I'm actually speaking to what my members.
The only reason why that's bothering you.
Hold on, brothers. Let's do this, because I do want to get to the format of the show.
Okay.
And then what we can do is we can come back on this on the overdraft of the show. For all of you that are not aware of what we're talking about, The show does cut off online at a certain time at 9 o'clock, so we want to make sure that our online listeners can go ahead and get the full amount of the show, and then we can continue that. For everybody, we'll give you the number. If you want to continue to listen after it goes off air, you can call back in on the number. We'll provide that number. Let's go ahead and get to some of these questions on the streets, and that way, some of the people that are streaming.
Okay. This is another conversation for me and the brother we'll have to have on a sidebar.
Oh yeah.
No, we can't have this
again. What we can do is we do have the show does go on as far as on the phone. It does go past the 9 o'clock hour. So everybody that's listening,
they have to call in
after the 9 o'clock hour. You have to call in because the live stream is going to be cut off at 9 o'clock. So, okay, we'll give you the number.
I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry, Tru. I just wanted to answer your question when you asked, what do you think we need to do as a people to move forward?
Definitely, and I just want to make sure that we can keep the format that way. Everybody that's tuning in different places that are not able to call, they can get the full show, and then we can continue this dialogue because it is important that you clarify that. You got a lot of people that are lost or, confused about what direction, we need to go. So I definitely want to get back to that. Let's take some of the questions from the streets. We'll get back to it. Brother MindOverMatter, are you still on the phone with us now? Hello, Brother MindOverMatter, are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Okay, good job.
Okay. So what we did is me and G, we went ahead and we downloaded some of the positive messages that you guys had floating around online, some of the videos. And we went to some random people and played the videos or whatnot, and just wanted to kind of create a poll on what the streets wanted to gather from the different organizations. Okay, so the first question we're gonna go ahead and pose towards MindOverMatter. Okay, again, all of these questions are from the streets. So the first question says if you're speaking race first on the page, let me see. Then why can't we love black people on the strength of being black? MindOverMatter, if you want to tackle that one first, man.
Let me make sure I heard you correct. You said that if we're speaking about being...
Let me read the question one more time. And this is in their words. If you're hollering race first on your page, then why can't you love black people on the strength of being black? And that's in their words. So I was trying to edit it at first, but that's their words exactly.
Yeah, no, give it to me raw. Who says you can't love black people as they are? We love black people as they are. We don't like everybody. Of course not.
Okay. So we're gonna keep the questions we're gonna keep the responses kind of short so we can just flow through some of these questions. So the next question I have, we're gonna try to keep the answers that when I ask you a question from what the people from the streets are asking, if you can kind of give a short description of your response, okay? So that
keep in mind we can always go back to the question on the overflow of the show, okay, after 9 o'clock. So let's go ahead and get into the next question. It's on you.
All right, Kareem, this question is for the NOI. Are people allowed to join the nation?
I'm sorry, say that again?
They're asking, are white people allowed to join the nation?
As a matter of fact, it's going to be a ton of white people, yes. As a matter of fact, it's white people that's already in the nation, but not necessarily in the mosque, but you got white people that support us all the time. So, I mean, you have to understand, the Nation of Islam, let's just make sure people understand. Islam only means righteous. I'm just going to say this and I'm going to end it, so they can understand what the Nation of Islam is, because they keep thinking it's a religion and it's not. Islam in Arabic language, when you say righteous, you say Islam. And when you say it in English, you say righteous. Who wouldn't want to be part of a nation of righteousness? I'm going to end right there.
All right.
Good job.
Okay, MindOverMatter. Look like this person is stuck on race. They want to know, if it's race first, why does what a black person believe in as far as religion matter?
That's a good question. And the reason why is because if we're dealing with social issues that's pertaining to us, a lot of black folks don't have the mind frame of understanding that we're taught when we mean us, we mean just us. We don't mean us and the white people who so-called aren't racist, or the white people who aren't this, or the Mexicans. We're talking about us, black people first. So when they come with that question, the reason why it matters is because we don't want to end up in a situation where we're dealing with a group of black people and a decision needs to be made, and here you are going off to this Bible or this other book making a decision. We don't need that. We're trying to get away from that because we wouldn't do that person like that. We're not going to consult a book to figure out which way we should go. We're going to stay up underneath what Marcus Garvey was saying, what Huey Newton was saying, what Malcolm was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And this message, this actual question is for Kareem and the Nation of Islam. Did the Nation of Islam have something to do with the killing of Malcolm X?
I'm so sick and tired of that damn question. First of all, the fact that everybody keep asking that question just shows and proves that they believe everything that the white man and white people say. My question is, was they there? Who told you that that we did it? Because we all know how. Wait a minute. We already know how trickery. They the masters of trickery. They can make you look like a damn murderer. So anybody is. Let me just say this. Tru Gee. Let's suppose somebody, you got millions and millions of followers, okay? And let's say one of your followers was in a high-ranking position, and he went on national TV and stabbed y'all in the back. Do you honestly have to tell anybody in your rank or in your bodyguard to go do something to him? Or do you think if those people love you so much, they go do something? As a matter of fact, you might have to tell them don't do nothing. That's that type of situation. And we already know how if you want to tear and separate and divide the people, all you got to do is just put some salt in the game. So, we ain't do nothing.
But not to stir up some controversy, but I just have to be me. I did see something on Farrakhan do a speech to where he did say, if we had to deal with one of our own, what does it matter to you? Now, this is out of Farrakhan's mouth, which would kind of lead me to believe.
And I want to say something that
okay. I'm just only stating the facts.
Stop.
I'm only stating the facts.
If we had to deal with it, no, you're right, but he was right. If we had to deal, America do it all the time. They call it treason. If we did deal with one of our own, why does it matter? If we did deal with one of our own.
And that's what Farrakhan said, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next question. Okay? True?
Okay. All right, so it says, let's see, if you're dissing them because of their religion, MindOverMatter, well, hell, is it RBG some form of religion or like a religion?
Well, it's definitely not a lack of religion because religion has proven what it is. If people want to own up to that and actually see what it is, how can you make it? How can you make someone understand that religion, so-called religion, that banner of organized way of thinking, does more separation than it does unification?
That's right.
And I would never get upset or mad at any of these questions because I understand that I'm going to be so bold to say almost 85% of the black population, they don't necessarily understand. Can you hear me now?
Somewhat. You kind of break it up a bit, man.
I would say that 85% of the population don't really understand what being pro-black is, having black love, black unity. They don't really understand that. We've been so downtrodden as to where we feel like there's something wrong with this black people uniting without having other people involved. So I don't get mad at the questions like that. I don't get mad about you guys talk bad about religion. I do. I'm not going to lie. On Facebook, I give it to Cracker Jesus every Sunday. I stick it in the ass every Sunday. You know what I mean? But let me tell you this. But at the same time, I've had a close homeboy of mine call me from the penitentiary and tell me that he thinks that I shouldn't do that no more. And I was stunned when he told me, white. I like doing it. I like giving it to white Jesus every Sunday. I do. But he told me that there's a lot of brothers and sisters who actually are Christians. They don't necessarily believe in white Jesus, but they are Christians, and they're leaning towards understanding this black Pan-Africanism and RBG, and they feel like that's kind of like disrespect because they still hold those ties. So I still suffer with that. I almost never pass up on the opportunity to kick white Jesus in the ass.
Most definitely. So we coming up. Let me interject to that.
Wrestling with that.
We kind of come close to
what I want to do is I want to keep both of you brothers on the line, man, going past the 9 o'clock hour so we can finish up the questions. So you guys a chance to really open up the view. Before we do that, We need to pay some bills with the sponsors. We want to also provide the number. It's not a 1-800 number. The number for anybody that's streaming online to call in so we can finish the show and continue moving past the 9 o'clock hour.
So since we pressed on time, for those that still want to tune in, you might want to call in now to hear the after-hour show as we continue on. Is there a patent on black consciousness or the black movement? That number to call is 646-787-8180. And if you want to talk, press the number 1, and please make sure that you have what you want to say already on your mind so we can kind of run through this kind of smoothly because we are pressed for time. Okay.
Already.
So I do want to give a shout-out to some of the sponsors, or actually not the sponsors, but our upcoming shows for the following week or this week. Saturday, we do have the Super Conscious Outlet at 5 p.m. That's 8 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Kashana Qualey and Grasshop. Sunday, we have Let's Talk About It at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's hosted by Miss Z and Tiffany Gibson. Monday, we have the Jay Allen Show, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it is hosted by yours truly, Jay Allen. Tuesday, we have the Getting It In Show on blogtalkradio.com/Restoring Your Reality, and that's at 7 p.m., and that's hosted by Liz and Nadir. Wednesday, we have You Must Learn at 7 p.m., that's Pacific Standard Time. That's hosted by Brother Lamar and Martin B. Brown. Thursday, we have the King Me. That will be located on blogtalkradio.com/Restoring Your Reality at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's hosted by Nasir. And Friday, again, of course, you will have yours truly, Tru Gee Show, back on the air, and we will update you on our following show if you guys log on to the Tru Gee fan page. All right. So before we actually
get into that, go ahead, my bro.
Yeah. So before we actually go ahead and leave off the live air, we want to go ahead and leave you with Fallen Angels, and then for those that are still tuning in, we'll kind of continue on with the show. True?
All right. So the purpose of Fallen Angels is to give some type of light and acknowledgement to those angels, those soldiers that we lost over the past week and a half. That for whatever reason mainstream media doesn't deem their lives valuable enough to put on the air. We believe a life lost is a valuable life, and every life is a valuable life. So we want to go ahead and pay our respect to our fallen soldiers, our fallen angels. This week's show is dedicated to someone that's close to heart. We stayed next to this brother in Compton, California, Marquise Bryant. Taken way too soon. You got a family, man, that love you, miss you. We definitely want to get some answers. We need to stop killing each other, and that's what it comes down to. We can talk all we want about black consciousness and the black movement, but until we stop killing each other and put the guns down and start recognizing that the people that we're killing looks exactly the same way that we look, we're going to continue to be lost. So this show right here is a special shout out. My prayers, my heart goes out to my people out in Compton, California. We love y'all. We're praying for y'all, man. And again, man, rest in paradise to my boy, my brother, my fam, my Rue, Marquise Bryant. We love you, man.
guys for actually tuning in and kind of giving a moment of silence for one of our fallen soldiers, my young guy, Marquise Bryant, who lost his life due to black-on-black crime, which we are obviously, at the end of the day, trying to stop and move forward on. We are at the overdrive or the overtime of the show, of the Tru Gee show. So we are going to go ahead, before we get back into some of these questions, we do want to go ahead and take a few calls. If they're still on the line, if you was calling and you wasn't able to get through, please do call back. Let's see here. The numbers with the last 4 digits, 1450. You are on the line to the Tru Gee show. What's up?
Alan.
Hey, what's going on, Jay?
Hey, Alan. What's going on?
Okay. Ain't nothing.
What's up? Yeah, I got 2 questions, man, or 2 points I want to make. First, I want to ask the brother, I think his name is Kareem.
Kareem, you still on the line? Kareem, you
Brother
there?
Kareem, you still with us? Okay, we might have lost him. We might call back in.
Okay. Well, I'll just say it anyway. I mean, I kept hearing the brother say that, Islam is not a religion. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. Well, it is a religion. And I will say this, whether it's, you're Christian, Muslim, whatever you want to call yourself, if you classify it as a way of life, then that's what everybody classifies it as. If you're living your life, if you're tied into something where you're worshiping, then basically that's your way of life. A Christian will tell you the same thing. It's a way of life. So it's all the same thing. And if he referred to Fuad Muhammad as God in the flesh. And if we look at the word religion, and we look at the definition, it's the belief and worship of a superhuman. So there is no difference. I mean, the brother said it was a difference, but it's really no difference. And the next thing I wanted to ask him was, does he believe that the white man is the devil? Because according to my knowledge, Farrakhan teaches that the white man is the devil. And then my next question to him, well, I know he taught that, and my next question would be, how does he feel about the ties that they have now with Scientology? How does that add up? How does that add up?
No, most definitely.
First, the white man was the devil. Now you're tying in with the white man. So I wanted the brothers to kind of touch on that.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question, Jay, because I was going to go ahead and get into a lot of that, but we was kind of pressed for time on the show. I wish he was still on the line because I don't want to beat up on the brother. You know what I mean? Because I respect him. But me personally,
right.
I'm not a fan of any religion and anything that's pressing some type of mythology or philosophy that's going to control the minds of people, and more generally, black people. I'm against it.
Correct.
I can never be with it. I can never side with it because it's going to always cause some conflict. Because if we're all moving in one way, a person is going to start letting their religion or their ideology of a God kind of counteract on what the movement is about, on any movement that we're all moving towards. So you can't have a whole bunch of identities in one group, because then it's going to start some type of separation and segregation amongst ourselves. So I was going to get deep into that. I didn't really get a chance to ask the brother all the questions that I wanted to ask. But like I said, I hope he calls back in, which he probably won't be able to, and we could probably discuss that on another show or another topic.
Right. Let me just say one last thing before I get out of here as far as religion. Okay, most of us, when we talk about religion is handed down. Okay? Most people do not choose their religion. It's handed down. A lot of times it's force-fed to us. I don't care what you are. A lot of times that's how it is. You don't choose your religion. Your religion choose you. We raised up in homes to where you better not think about being nothing other than what your parents are. So a lot of times, like I said, it's handed down. A lot of times kids don't have a choice. And by the time that you're 5, 6, 7, or 8, you're already so heavily indoctrinated in it to where it's no shaking you out of it. But some of us do see the light. That's all I wanted to say.
Nah, well spoken, Jay. And I mean, I pretty much agree 100% with everything you said, because I mean, I am the religion killer, to be honest with you. I'm not a black movement killer, but I am the God killer, right. or what you would call somebody who is totally against religious philosophy, because I don't see it benefiting our nation as a whole at all.
Right.
Right. I mean, like I said, I would have loved to discuss with the brother, but since we still have Mind Over Matter still on the line, Mind, do you still mind if we ask you some of the questions from the streets?
I'm still here.
Hey, good
all right,
looking.
y'all. I'm out of here.
Hey, we appreciate your call, Jay. Keep on tuning in, man.
No doubt.
We appreciate you. Yeah.
For sure. Peace.
Okay. All right. So we was going to ask the next question to Brother Kareem, but he seems like he's not here. So, mind over matter. Here's another question from the streets that they do want to know, and I'm just going to read it how it was worded to us. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. They asking, how can RBG go to war with the white man and compete with bombs, missiles, and shit that will blow your goddamn ears out if they detonate some type of sound frequency?
Yeah.
What do you got to say with that?
I've read and I've been in some heavy arguments on the inboxes and on posts with a few brothers and sisters who actually think like that. First of all, they speaking on hypothetical situations, and if it's that serious, then I would tell them, well, continue doing what you're doing, sitting back and analyzing and criticizing on the book, on Facebook, and on these different social medias, while those of us who are out here in the streets and foot on the ground getting things going, we'll do what we do. Because that shouldn't be a deterrent for anybody. The missiles, bombs, and all that, you know, a missile was first an idea in someone's mind before they made it. So you mean to tell me with our movement, what we're trying to do, we can't create something in our mind and then get to work on that? So we're supposed to be deterred because there's bombs, missiles, and guns? You know, you have black people who will see a picture or a video of a black man or woman on Facebook holding a gun, and they talking about, you know, you stupid, the feds is on watching, and you can be inside a fucking gun club. You know what I mean? So I don't really worry about scary blacks that don't understand the ways of the world.
No, most definitely. Here's what I'll take on that, and I kind of see where they're coming from. Like, basically what this question would mean to me is the white man has pretty much conquered all four corners of the earth, okay? As far as any type of movement, because I do hear, and I'm well aware of who said he is, and I'm well aware of some of the movements that a lot of Pan-African Americans kind of partake in, and they kind of want an all-out revolutionary war. Me personally, I would kind of ask the same question on how would a certain type of movement such as ourselves be able to try to deal with the forces that are already at hand? How can we go to war with them when they train every day in certain militia camps and they have nuclear bombs, they have helicopters and tanks, and all we got is guns and AK-47s? How could we really retaliate or go about doing some kind of revolution that involves bloodshed, warring with them, what you guys call the beast?
My answer to that is simple and plain. Does the death penalty prevent anyone from committing murder? No, it doesn't. You do what you have to do. It doesn't matter about nuclear bombs, drones, diseases, and all this and that. You do what you have to do. It's as simple as that. I believe people who actually think on those levels as to where, you know, they have all these things, you're already submitting. You already showing that you ain't going to do shit. You ain't going to do shit. So it's like, why even talk about it? I don't care anything about no drones, bombs, and all this and that. And half the people who would sit up and philosophize about that, they'll get right off Facebook and go walk their punk ass down to fucking McDonald's and buy some fucking GMO food and eat that shit. You know what I mean? Don't. How can you let anything deter you from what you're trying to do? How can you? I'm speaking as a man who left prison after 18 years. By law and by the same type of black people's thinking, I ain't supposed to be shit out here. I'm supposed to leave prison after 18 motherfucking years, full of tattoos, ignorant as a motherfucker out here, blame everything on the white man, then go back. That's not the case with me. I'm out here pushing. It's going to be 5 years soon. And I challenge any person who's been to prison or who has been to prison to challenge me on that. That's what I'm proud about.
Well, first of all, you're kind of breaking up Mind Over Matter. I know you trying to get your words out, but they're kind of muffling out a little bit.
What about now? Better now?
I hear you perfect now. So let me just interject while I have the time. How can I word this? Okay. Is a war revolution really necessary? This is my question.
Is a war of revolution necessary?
Yeah, do we really need to go to war? I mean bloodshed to really get our what we was considered to have our own? Do you feel it's necessary, or is there another way?
How did we lose it? How did we lose it?
No, I think okay. Here's what I'm asking. Okay, when a lot of people begin to speak on revolution, they kind of get the idea that, well, most of them presume that I speak to. They say, well, we need to kill the white man. They killing us. We need to kill them. That's the only way we're going to get our freedom. That's the only way we're going to be free. Is the war really necessary, or is there any other way? I'm asking you in your perception.
There definitely has to be a war. War isn't always physical. You know, we have the war within ourselves about the daily things that we do and the mentality that we display with each other and with self every day. So revolution isn't just getting physical and killing up some white people or killing up another race.